I have the most serious stuff and I have the wildest stuff. So it's all here in this show. I hope we get to it. I will tell you that one of the questions that is asked is, could what happened with the bridge failure and the bridge coming down in Maryland, could that happen in California? And the actual truth in a sentence is, it is much less likely to happen in California, even as we have way more boat traffic, as you know, and shipping traffic in California. But that Francis Scott Key Bridge had almost no chance of survival. It didn't have the support structures and impact barriers that we have in our bridges around California, just to state it bluntly. And so typically we have solid supports in California, substantial buffers that are there, and there is protection from collision, even a big collision of the sort that we saw in Baltimore. There are two things that have happened since the Baltimore thing, just to step out and speak to some of the commentary on it, which has been ridiculous. I don't know if you've seen the, right-wing media outlets start talking about, they jumped right on terrorism. This is what happens under Joe Biden. And they even talked about, wokeism. I saw this, a commentator saying it's wokeism that has created an environment by which they hire people who are not, and then he says that are not necessarily qualified. He's saying, I'm not saying that that's what happened here, but I'm just saying that's a real problem. And I'm thinking, wow, what a pivot that is.
Who hires people that aren't qualified?
Exactly.
The people driving the boat?
There's no evidence yet of any sort that would point to that being the issue. Now, it is true, and we told you yesterday, that the boat had other problems. In Antwerp, I believe there was a huge amount of damage to the boat in Antwerp as a result of an accident. But there's no evidence that it was a result of any kind of, hiring action that was. Anyway, but that's the kind of crap that's out there. Albert, didn't I send you something when Maria Bartiromo, who is just, crazy, she has drunk the Kool-Aid, remixed it, and drunk more. Listen to what she says as the information is coming in on Fox News about the bridge going down.
We're all worried about
blaming it on whatever's most.
There are no indications of foul play here. Of course, we're all worried about a potential, terrorist attack, given the wide open border.
I'm no expert on what's going on the seas, but all I would say is that if you talk to employers in America, they'll tell you that filling slots with employees who aren't drug-addled is a very huge problem.
And what are we doing to make sure that we have the best infrastructure in the world so that when a ship
this is great.
Eclipse the bridge,
you can stop this, Albert. You can stop it here, because one of the things that's pointed to is somehow this is an infrastructure breakdown. But that's not what this is. There's no indication, again, that this was an infrastructure issue. The bridge didn't spontaneously come down. It was hit by this immense cargo ship. So, again, now back to California. Typically, container ships can access the port of LA, the port of Long Beach, without ever going under a bridge, said a spokesperson for the Southern California International Gateway Bridge Office. The California port with the most similarities, though still not really a comparison, would be the port of Oakland. Most large ships have to navigate under the Golden Gate Bridge, of course, and the Bay Bridge. And the Bay Bridge has more of those supports under it across the bay, but it also has all that baffling. Kim, you know about the Golden Gate Bridge baffling. You know about the Bay Bridge baffling. I've heard you speak about it before.
Yeah, they're fenders. They're big fenders,
right?
And they, in some cases, in the Bay Bridge case, it goes down to the to where the bottom of the ship would go. And so when they hit the fender, which is concrete and then sand inside of it, like one of those sand barrels on the freeway, it'll wreck the fender, but it's not touching the bridge. And that's
and
what
those
happens
fenders
here
are
in
designed
California.
right to dissipate that energy. So by
That's right.
it really is like the shocks on a car or like the fenders on a car. So we have a different setup in California. Look, in '07, there was a huge accident. A ship did hit the Bay Bridge in the San Francisco Bay Area. It
That was
spilled a bunch of oil.
The Costco Busan oil tanker.
Thank
It was
you.
an absolute nightmare. There was wildlife affected, birds washing up all around the Bay Area. That was horrible.
Yeah, and the nightmare that Kim's talking about was the result of the oil spill because it was an oil tanker, but it wasn't the result of the bridge going down or the bridge being damaged or closed in any way. So, again, when you look at infrastructure, I always say, well, you guys talk about infrastructure, GOP, but you don't actually do anything about infrastructure. I mean, couldn't get an infrastructure package passed. Even your last president, who you served up, Donald Trump, he talked a good game, said he had an infrastructure package ready to go, but that's not the package that was passed legislatively. The package that was passed legislatively was what? Tax cuts. And then the infrastructure package never came until Joe Biden came along. And look, I'm not leading the parade for Joe Biden, but I sure am relative to the choice of Donald Trump. My God. And he did, get that legislation passed. But more to the point, this accident had nothing to do with an infrastructure failure. So the short answer to the questions as to how we would do is we would do better on the West Coast. There is, on the West Coast, the Golden Gate Bridge, they say, has the most robust ship collision protection of any bridge on the West Coast.
And do you know they built it like that? In 1937, it was state-of-the-art technology, and still to this day, it remains state-of-the-art technology. It's as good today as it was back then, and it's very protective of our bridge.
There's basically a moat or buffer zone around the South Tower Pier. That barrier protects an area the size of a football field with a bumper made of concrete and filled with sand. That's what we're talking about, that kind of shock absorber quality. But in any case, we feel for those workers who lost their lives in that accident. But as to whether or not it would happen on the West Coast, it seems as though a scenario like that is less likely. So.
The Mark Thompson Show.
Albert, can we do a chunk of Trump? I wonder if I can do a quick chunk of Trump with that story that I sent you. Hey, look, everybody needs a side hustle. And Donald Trump's side hustle is he's pitching these Bibles.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, look, he pitched the steak, he pitched the shoes, the sneakers, he's pitched, why not pitch something that...
This is a word from the Lord, and he's not happy.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if he's happy or not. But
does it have enough gold leaf to be like a real Trump Bible? Because it's got to have a lot of gold packing the punch there.
That's the point. Yeah. Put this in the shrine you have to the former president. We all know he was the best president ever. And why not buy a Bible and add it to the other Trump memorabilia that already festoons your home?
There's never been anything like this.
Albert, run a little bit of what's happening in Trump land, including the Bible.
He's now selling Bibles.
All Americans need a Bible in their home, and I have many. It's my favorite book. It's a lot of people's favorite book.
Trump has at various points said his favorite books are his own. But after hawking everything from sneakers to steak, he's now offering the $59.99 God Bless the USA Bible that includes text of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence.
I'm proud to endorse and encourage you to get this Bible. We must make America pray again.
This is a licensing
that's
deal.
good.
Trump is
Make America pray. Come on, where's a little applause for that? He just comes up with it. The guy's a genius. God, he just comes up with it. Make America pray again. Wow. Good stuff. It's $60 plus shipping and handling. And is the Bible printed upside down? Yeah, he did. He did hold that Bible up the wrong way. For the photo op. Good point.
He's partnering with the country star Lee Greenwood.
Oh yeah,
the guy who sings the big America patriotism drama
thing.
And so they're hooking up together. It's the God Bless America Bible right on the cover.
Damn straight, man. Yeah, get that Bible. You slam out a little Bible verse, then you turn it over to that Constitution. You slam out a couple of those amendments. You know, before you know it, your family will be looking for ways to move to another neighborhood. Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.